sports complex or park in your town?
Yes, there's a few that I can think of. For sports complexes, we have Gabriel Field, which is mostly baseball and football. And we have Glen by the Bay, which is soccer and softball. And then for parks, we have Patriot Lake, which is a lake, obviously, and there's a trail for running around it, and there's volleyball courts. And then there's Heritage Park, which has tennis courts and a nice running path as well.
Yeah, we do have a couple of them.
Yeah, there's a couple little stuff around me. There's volleyball courts that I play at. Back in the day, there's a sporting complex where the police building's around, and I used to go to movies in the park. They had a big blow-up screen. We used to go and watch a movie that the township would provide for us. They also actually had a soccer league over there I used to play. Also, in the same area, there is a skate park, which I used to drop in with my rollerblades because I thought I was cool. Other than that, yeah. Right now, I play basketball at the local school. Elementary school around here. They have some nice courts, and I still go play at. There's a lake around here too, which I walk around, and actually right across the street from me is a national refuge, and I run through there all the time, and sometimes I'll even drive the car through it. Get some good bird watching and everything else through there. I think that's about all that I could think of.
Do you ever attend any outdoor events held at sports complex or in parks?
Yes, especially when I was younger, I would go to the sports complexes a lot because I played on sports teams. I played softball and soccer. So did all my sisters, so we spent a lot of time over there. And now I'd say I more so use the parks. I like to run around the paths. I play tennis at Heritage Park. I've played volleyball at Patriot Lake. And also at Patriot Lake, they do different events, like they have movies in the park in the summer. They started a farmer's market this year where you can buy local produce from local farmers, and every summer they have a carnival. So I've done things in my local parks, definitely.
Yeah, I used to play sports when I was younger, so we would play them in the local park, and then I also go there to walk my dogs a lot of times.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I go to a movie in the park every once in a while. I play some sports at some of these sports complexes. Used to be in a couple leagues, soccer league, a volleyball league. There was even a football league around here that I used to go to. Took up a lot of time in my life. So yeah, definitely sports complexes and parks were a big part of my life.
Well, how many times have you been to a sports park?
What the hell is a sports park?
What's a sports park?
A sports park is basically a complex that houses different fields for different sports. Basically, in a sports park, you will have a soccer field, football, baseball, just something like that, all in the same place.
Oh, yeah, I don't really do sports. I don't really enjoy sports or watch anything regarding sports. Like, I was the president of my technology club in high school, so I wasn't really involved in sports at all.
Well, there aren't really any where I live, but once I went to California to visit my cousin, and we went to this park called Big League Dreams Sports Park, and we went there to play tennis since I like to do that. And we would probably go like around like 2 to 3 times a week, and we just practice tennis.
Well, I don't really go for myself that often, but my boyfriend played on the soccer team in high school, so I would go up to the sports park about like once a week on the weekends and watch him play his games. But now that we're out of high school, we don't really go that often because I'm not that into sports.
I've never been to a sports park before. In my hometown, we have a complex where you can play indoor soccer and basketball, and they have local leagues set up so you can submit a team of like your friends and stuff, and you pay a fee, and then you're able to play, and it's a lot of fun. I like to play basketball personally, and so I know they have a really good reputation there for getting leagues and stuff like that put together.
Are the complexes in your town easily accessible?
Yes, the sports complexes are easy and convenient to drive to, and then both of the parks I mentioned are actually walking distance from my house. Patriot League is like right in the center of our town, right by the municipal building, the police station, and our grocery store, and that one's like less than a mile from my house.
Yeah, they're very local and close by, easy drive or walk, and then also they don't close at any certain time, so you can always stop by.
Yeah, most of the sports complexes I can just walk to, or I could drive to them as well. The refuge is literally right across the street from me, so I usually walk to it, and then I'll go for my run, my jog, or my walk. So yeah, everything's usually pretty accessible.
Are you charged a fee of any kind?
No, I have not ever had to pay to use my parks or my sports complexes.
Nope, they're free to everyone.
If I want to walk through the refuge, I'm not charged anything, but if I want to go ahead and drive through it, they have a nice little drive that you can go on, and you usually have to pay around $4 or so for that. And with some of my sports stuff, the skate park you didn't have to pay for, but I mean some of these leagues like a soccer league or a football league, volleyball league, you had to do a minimal fee.
Do you think that adding a sports park to a town would make a town better? If so, how?
Sure.
How?
I don't know. I think it would create like more job opportunities for like the construction workers and people who like regulate the park. It'll also be like fun for like people who do sports.
I think it'd be beneficial to add a sports park into a town because I work at a school and I see that kids are always on their phones and on computers. And kids aren't as much like kids nowadays, so I think it'd be really important to give them a spot where they could be active.
Yes, I do. I think it would promote healthy behaviors and exercising, such as running.
Do you think that there are any potential drawbacks to building a sports complex in a city?
Yeah, definitely. I can think of one. I know in my town, at the local facilities, scheduling is definitely a problem because kids just use the park freely. So that usually tends to have the better athletes, and that's usually the older people getting to use either the fields or the courts. And that doesn't leave any time for the younger people who the courts and the fields were built for to get to use the facilities. If you think about it, a park for lower income kids is mainly for 10 to 20-year-old kids who need that outlet. But the people who tend to dominate the time on the field or the court are the better athletes who are probably 20 to 30. So that would lead to you probably needing to hire an administrator to create schedules, people having to call ahead, and that could create some conflict.
Do I see any potential drawbacks? Well, I can see taxpayers getting worried that they're going to be spending a lot of money on this. But it's all donated land, and I believe the rewards are going to be bigger than the cost anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem. Another potential drawback, possibly sound around the stadium. It probably will get loud at times, but really this will be minimal and not often, so the drawbacks are very small.
Yeah, I guess safety is a big concern. You know, when you ever have that many kids in one area, something's bound to happen. You know, a kid rolls an ankle, a kid falls over, breaks his arm or something, and it's going to be tough to get, 100 little kids to sign waivers or their parents to sign waivers every time they go out and playing. And I guess it also depends on what sports you're playing, because some are more dangerous than others. If you have tackle football there, that's obviously a pretty big issue compared to them playing baseball or golf. It's just something you just really got to keep in mind. Whenever there's going to be a bunch of little kids in one place, then something bad is bound to happen eventually.
I think there's many drawbacks. One being money, because the kids might not have enough money to get into the gym. Also traffic, since it's in a big city, especially with travel teams, kids coming in and out, and the city's crowded enough as it is, so there'll be a lot of cars. And also safety could be a big issue because if they're playing sports all day, they could easily get hurt, like with football or any contact sport like that.
Do you go about solving the safety issue?
I would only have sports with no contact, or more of a weightlifting gym or with weights and stuff like that.